Alright guys, today is the moment of truth again. I ended up getting a ACT flywheel in from MA Performance. I pulled the transmission, put that new flywheel in. It's the correct amount of teeth, 110. It's 4/7 bolt, so it fitted right up. I put the ACT clutch back in, got it all back together here, and it's all set. I do have the battery on a charger right now. And I did end up getting, while I had the transmission out, I got a Torque Solutions trans mount. The old one, I can actually show you here, is pretty shot. Eventually, I'll get some engine mounts for the rest of it. Those are pretty easy to swap out while the engine's actually in the car. This one I had to do now just because of having the transmission out, but it's all set here. Right now I'm just gonna run it the way it is with those other mounts. Those ones were still good. They just, eventually I'll just have it all upgraded to that billet Torque Solutions. So we are gonna try starting it here. I have not tuned it yet. I'm not gonna let it run very long for that reason. Willie, the guy that sold me the engine, did send me a tune for it that I can upload with ECU Flash. I do have that from when I had the Evo and did remote tuning and everything. So I just need to, he said he's gonna walk me through that just because of like how you set in all the different specs and stuff and the size of your fuel injectors. So I don't know how to do any of that. So he said he's gonna walk me through it, but we need to make sure it runs first. So we're gonna give it a try with starting it up. I did end up, while I had it apart, I replaced the driver front wheel bearing and then the passenger upper control arm that I had already replaced. The ball joint had stripped out, so we replaced that while we were in there. So we will we'll see about getting this started here. Hopefully it starts. If it doesn't, then I won't go and see about the tune and figure out what's causing it not to start, but let's give it a try.
Joel, why does this belt not line up?
What?
Your power steering pump, I believe this is. Belt is fucking, like, you can see it when it's spinning.
Due to the fact of not having the same cams.
Well, you got gas, right? Okay. I wonder if a little ether might make a difference.
Huh?
A little starting fluid might make it happen.
Might.
Mm-hmm.
I did figure out what the issue was with it not wanting to stay running. As you could see, it just kind of would die out. So I did some digging into it, and the crankshaft position sensor for the 7-bolt has its own connector for it. Well, the 6 bolts actually have the camshaft sensor, acts for both that and the crank. Now, the camshaft sensor that I'm using is from the 6-bolt engine that I had in it originally, so from like a 90 to 94 engine. So since I'm using that, I ended up switching the connector over to the cam sensor, and now it stays running. The loud exhaust is actually from the wastegate being bent from when I dropped the engine off of the pallet and everything. So ended up getting in a new wastegate just in time to realize that the turbo is actually blowing oil through it. The car is running rich, so it's blowing a lot of smoke out the back, but then there's more of a dark smoke to it because it is burning oil. So I looked into it a little bit, and it was blowing through the internals in the turbo. Went to take apart the turbo because I was just going to do a rebuild on it, and was going to have one of my buddies help me with rebuilding that turbo, but it actually broke. So I went to MA Performance, ordered up an FP green turbo, and they get those actually straight from Force Performance or FP. So I'm just waiting on that. I did get in contact with them because I ordered it a little while ago, and I've still been waiting and haven't heard much word. And they did say that they're supposed to ship out in the next couple days. Those are a build to order type things. So waiting on that. I was deciding between FP green or red. They're a little bit different in terms of the power rating. It's just slightly lower for the green, but it's got a quicker spool rate because it's slightly smaller than the red. So it was a tough decision between those because they're pretty close in price, but ended up just going with the green. It'll be a nice, good spool rate. And like I said, horsepower isn't much less on the top end of it. So now that I've got the Evo 8 lower end and fuel injectors, I should be able to push a decent amount of power out of that. And I'm not going to really try to go for high numbers at this point, just kind of get it running and enjoy it. And then I can turn it up more later on. But after I get all that set, I'll be able to be in tuning mode, and I'll get in contact with someone that will be able to remotely tune it for me. Now that I've got the new ECU in it, I did go with an ECM link, so I have that all set up so I can figure that out. I did some adjusting of my own with the fuel, just because it was running very rich. I didn't want to be moving it in and out of the shop with it being rich like that, so I adjusted it, so now it's a little on the lean side, so it needs to be adjusted some more. But like I said, I can get with someone that'll be able to remotely tune and get all that taken care of. So it's just a waiting game on that turbo, but we should be getting it in soon, and then we'll have another update for you guys. Like, if you like the video, comment as to what you think. I know it's another setback, but we'll get that turbo in and we'll get this thing running. We'll see you guys in the next one.